because this takes a stage presence. I don't know what presence is, but presence in live performances into consideration. This list can and probably will include people that were not in our other ones.
Because I already know one of the male ones is
Yep,
going to
me
be.
too. It might even be the same person.
All I
Matter
know
of fact,
is the
this
same
dude
person.
damn near could be number one. He's that damn good live.
I'm going to go ahead and put him number one.
I wouldn't argue it at all.
And we're just going to both say it. Johannes Ekstrom.
Johannes from
Yeah.
from Avatar. The dude, his vocals are great. They're not quite to the level of making that top 5, but they're damn
close.
good. Yeah, they're close. They're damn good. He's got great cleans. He can get way the hell up there.
And his screams, goddamn.
His screams are incredible, and his gutturals are good too. And like you said, he doesn't cut the mic, which he loves. But the dude's stage presence is second to none.
He is a performer, hands down.
Like,
honestly, just watch hilarious stage videos from him. There's a shitload out there because of just how goofy he is on stage, but yet remains in control.
yes, he
Mostly.
is. He is a character. He and it's funny because if you ever see the dude off stage,
He's not like
he's not like that. I mean, he can be, but
he's a lot calmer.
It's like when he puts the makeup on, he becomes this totally different dude. And like, I've never really seen anybody on stage just quite like him, because he's got so much energy. It is unreal. Like, I would be exhausted after the second song if I was
yeah.
like,
Now here's the thing. What gets me about him stage performance wise, and this is just gonna be more comedic value than anything, how that motherfucker cannot just do a head bop at the beginning of Colossus is beyond me.
yeah,
He just maintains complete statue form. Like, I don't know how he does it.
at least in the when we saw him and they'd done that tour.
Yeah.
Like, I will tell anybody, even if you're not necessarily a fan of Avatar, if you have a chance to go see those guys live, go.
You won't be disappointed.
You will not regret it. Like, because it as amazing as he is on stage, the rest of the band's pretty damn impressive on stage too. Like,
Yeah.
they all have this insane amount of energy. You can tell they're having an absolute blast up
Oh,
there.
that's saying it lightly.
Yeah.
Like, just damn.
They are probably one of the top 3 live bands going out there today. And like, seriously,
Honestly, and
Go
even if
see
you
it.
don't care to, even if you've heard a little bit and you don't care for them, watch their interviews because they're fucking hilarious.
they're a trip.
Just because, like, that one interview, whenever they were talking about, like, I don't know if it was true or not, but they were getting some flack for their name in correlation with the film, and he goes, "Yes, I cannot wait to change our name to Terminator 2."
I absolutely, and he's like that up on stage too. Like, he talks about random crap and like, some things sound so stupid by themselves but the way he does it,
No,
and the
and-
way he puts it together. Is
So
just
my
great.
favorite, like when their vocals do intermission to kind of get the crowd going or kind of make more connection. The one where we saw, I loved it because he was just getting into it. Would you die for me? Would you bleed for me? And everyone's like, yes. And he goes, well, you really shouldn't do that because I really fucked up.
I'm telling you, the dude's he's in a class of his own. He really
Yes.
is. And I've been saying, I even said it before we saw him, that I thought he was one of the best frontmen of metal. And just going to see him just reiterates it tenfold for me. Like, he's if I had a metal band, I would want somebody like him fronting my band. Like, no doubt about it.
So, someone that just popped in my mind
Mhm.
of a great stage performer as well, because I remember I have seen him live.
Mhm.
Although his early performance is way better in my opinion. Marilyn Manson.
He is. He's a great stage performer. He knows how to get the crowd, because I've seen him too. He knows how to get the crowd going. He doesn't give a shit what anybody says. He's going to do what the hell he wants to do.
He warns people, do not get up here or you forfeit everything to my will.
Yeah. And that's true with anybody up there, even if they're part of his act already.
Yeah.
He does not care. You know,
Like, everyone in that group, they've pretty much signed a contract
Yeah.
going, you're free, or you've given me the freedom to do whatever I want.
Yeah, and a perfect example, when I saw him, he had these female dancers up there, and they were dancing up on stage, in front of him, and he had one bend over. He pulled her thing aside and stuck the microphone inside her hoo-ha and sang out of it.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, so that gives you an idea. Like, he does not care. But that makes him, like, you never know what the hell he's going to do up there.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, Johannes is kind of like him on stage. I mean, he doesn't go do, like, all the vulgar crap that Manson does.
The energy.
But he's got the energy and the randomness of him.
Mm-hmm.
And now another thing Manson does a lot, he's a good user of props.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure he gets a lot of that probably from Alice Cooper. Because if you think about Manson, he was like the evolution of Alice Cooper.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
well, I mean, Alice Cooper, I think, was one of his influences.
Oh, I would 100 believe it. Yeah. And because if you've never seen Alice Cooper live, he's another. I haven't seen him live, but I've seen lots of videos. Like, the dude, he's not the greatest singer on the planet. All right, I'm gonna get that.
No, but he's good at what he does.
He's good at what he does. But
they are coming in September.
Yes, I know. I want to go because he out of all the old school rockers, he's the only one I haven't seen yet.
And I forgot about him whenever I was making the list, so that's why. You know what? Honorable mention, Alice.
Yeah. I didn't put him on there because vocally, he's especially live. He's okay.
Yeah.
Now, studio wise, he's fine. Like, he sounds great. To make up for that live, his stage show is incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
And I even though I haven't seen him, I've seen plenty of videos. He could even potentially put him somewhere on this list.
Mm-hmm.
But as for Manson, yes, the dude's ridiculous on stage. Like, he's
And again, I don't mean to keep going through males just because I really haven't seen many females live, but there is another one that I know you're probably gonna already know who it is.
Probably.
I get them mixed up. Is Joachim or Johannes of
Joachim
of Sabaton? Yes.
Yes.
Big fucking kid on stage.
He really is. I still think of. I mean, he didn't do this when we saw him, or either time that I've seen him. But I still can't. I still think back to the show in Germany that they videoed where he was standing and they were all doing the Nachheim beer, and he was like, "You don't want Swedish men to drink because when we drink, we get naked."
I put a clip of that video in the Alcohol and Metal.
Did you really?
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, I love. That's how he is, man. He's a big kid.
Well, and not to mention, I love the fact of, like, you guys, we're gonna have fun out here because all we really are is just metalheads. We're just Ken's wearing camo.
Yeah. Yeah. He verbally he can be pretty random, like Johannes.
Yeah.
And now he's another one. Not necessarily the greatest singer, but he's damn good at what he does.
Yeah.
Like, he has this small little range, and he knows it, and he stays in it, but he's damn good at that range.
Absolutely.
I
was considering putting him into some of the top or honorable mentions, but I felt like there were just other vocalists as well. But still, like I said, if I had continued on, it would have been like 20 vocalists.
Yeah. And when you take the stage presence in there, I would say he fits in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Another one, of course, your man Rob Halford.
Oh, God, yes.
He's another one they use, like, at least when we saw him, great use of props.
He's a costume man.
Costume, yep. Which Avatar, when he first comes out on stage, Johannes is. By the end, he's down to, like, his overalls and his pants or whatever.
Yeah.
But he is a costume. Like, he'll change throughout the show.
My favorite costume that he had was with whenever they do Necromancer live, because he looks like a witch doctor, and he has a top hat with purple feathers on it. I love it.
Of course, Joachim from Sabaton comes out in the costume for
Dead Men.
Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Yeah,
is that what it is? It's the one. I think it's the name of it. It's the one about the army that got gassed or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. He comes out with the whole, like, gas stuff set up.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if they turned that thing into a flamethrower.
I wish they would have done something more.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't known him.
Yeah. He probably got told no.
Probably did, because he's like, I don't trust you, sir.
I can't blame them.
Or hell, even turn it into like a fire extinguisher where it blows out like foam or smoke or something.
Yeah,
even
that would have been cool.
But yeah. Now what were we talking about? I forgot.
Rob,
yes. And even at his age now, he's got such a stage presence.
He does.
He really does. I mean, he commands the stage, and
in a way that he doesn't really talk to the crowd, because he even mentioned in his book he doesn't like talking to the crowd because in his what he calls yam, like that's what they call it from where he's from. He's like, I won't shut up. So it'll be like, hey guys, you liking this weather? How's the stores around here? He'd go into random tangents. So that's the reason he doesn't really do that. Also, he's like, you guys paid for a show. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna play our stuff.
You know, and I agree and don't agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Because yes, I did pay to see a show, but I also paid to see a performance.
Yeah.
And to me, the crowd interaction is part of that performance.
Yeah.
So,
but
that being said,
he still puts like the crowd performance connection just within what he's doing.
And
on
he
stage.
does talk to the crowd some. Yes, not as much as say Johannes does.
Oh yeah.
But he does some. And the drummer does too. He did some interaction with the crowd as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Scott?
Scott Travis.
Yeah, Scott. Yeah, he does some interaction with the crowd as well.
Yeah.
You know, but he mainly does it when Rob's off stage. Yeah, he did a Painkiller, but he did it some too when Rob was off stage during his costume changes.
Yeah.
So I don't remember Richie or Andy. Ian didn't talk at all.
No. Richie didn't either.
I didn't think Richie or Andy did at all. It was strictly just it was either Rob or Scott. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I'd have him up there.
Nice. So how many do we have? 4 already.
Yes.
Yeah. Not to be biased, but for me, Lamb of God puts on one hell of a show. After having seen them live.
I have not. They're one of some that I have not. Yes.
Randy is like on crack running around the stage. There's a reason he actually has to wear compression fittings on his like knees, not just for the jump that he does with Walk With Me in Hell, but just because he's everywhere.
Yeah, and I like people who are like that because it's more entertaining.
Yeah,
I hate people that stand in one place.
Yeah, he goes around the stage. He'll like wrap his arm sometimes around Willie, because he doesn't do it with Mark because Mark does not like being touched, so he steers clear of that.
Now, one person that I actually would put on this list that may surprise some people and may even surprise you, but when I saw them live and saw him live, I was blown away by his stage presence and his stage performance. Okay. And that's Sully from Godsmack.
Huh.
Sully. It's Sully. Yeah, not Sully. He has now mind you, this was 20 or 21 years ago. I don't know about today.
Yeah.
But he had, back then at least, he had an incredible stage presence. He was good at interacting with the crowd. Mm-hmm. Vocally, he sounds the same live, at least back then, as he does on the things. And 2, he has fun on stage. Like, he would sit there. I think actually Joachim does this at his live shows too. Mm-hmm. Because he can play instruments. All right. A lot of people may not know this unless you've seen him live, but Sully can play instruments. Mm-hmm. I keep wanting to say Scully. I don't know why.
It works.
Like, he had a guitar battle with the guitars while he was up there. Then he had a drum battle with the drummer. Like, they did a solo off and stuff like this. It was just great. It added this extra thing to the shows you don't get with a lot of groups. Mm-hmm. And for me, that put him up there. Now, I don't know if he still does all that stuff, but back then, now again, I think this was 2003. He did, and I thoroughly enjoyed their show because of it, because of the things that he was doing up there. So for me, if he is in the top 10, he would definitely be an honorable mention.
I gotcha. Again, whenever it comes to, because I'm gonna keep on going on a list of males because that's primarily who I've seen, but for the females, as far as they're concerned, Angela has to be up there for me. Just out of videos I've seen.
Yeah, I could see that. Now, and for me, if we're gonna go on to females, again, this a lot of this is bias, but I would put Sue Middle up there because their choreography alone just adds energy to the stage. but she is very good at commanding a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't tell how. I mean, I've only seen them live once, but the crowd listens to literally everything she says. Like she could probably make the entire crowd strip naked and run around in circles like a bunch of dumbasses if she wanted to. Like that's the kind of control she has. It's I don't think I've seen somebody who can control a crowd like she does just by what she says.
Yeah.
And to me, that puts her up there. Now, like a lot of bands, a lot of their stuff's rehearsed. They do the same thing at every show.
Yeah.
Like if you go to multiple, and I know Baby Metal's no different, but still, it blows my mind how good she is at it. And another thing she's really good, even though you can't really see it live unless you're watching a video, is how good she is at emoting emotion through her face and her eyes. But I'd even put her up there. And then another woman, of course, this is me again being biased, would be Floor. Now I know you weren't a huge fan of her.
So when I want to put
mind you, like I said, she'd only been with the band 10 months at that time.
I want to say this and kind of not like try and save myself or any kind of thing like that, because I still kind of agree. It wasn't quite as awkward whenever I was re-watching it, but still just, I think partly it was just the weird ass outfit to me. Because what made it weird for me was the half skirt, like the skirt, and then halfway back, it's the like dress formation. Like if it had been like more dress or just more skirt and not just half and half, it might have been a little different. But it's just I can see how after 10 months she was still probably trying to get her footing and everything. So like it wasn't as awkward the second time I watched it, but still it just kind of was odd.
She's a Floor general, and like I said, you may not see it as much, at least in the two that we watched, but she's another one. She interacts with the crowd a lot. Now English is not her first language, so you can tell at times. Now she can still speak it pretty darn well, but you can tell it's not her first language. Dutch is her first language, and she can also speak Swedish, by the way.
But I will say, like, yeah, she absolutely has energy. So
she does.
Yeah, I can't fault her for that at all. Even if some of the movements I thought were a little strange, like she has energy.
Now, some of the movements too, because of how she sings and that she uses so much, power within her body, and like especially when you're singing in chest voice, you can't. It restricts your ability to move a little bit, because if you move, it'll affect your diaphragm. It
will.
So, in the way that she sings, that's some of it too, I think.
And that I can see that,
But she has a lot of energy. She's very good with interacting with the crowd. She's, the crowd listens to her kind of like they do with Sue.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not quite to the extent that they do with Sue, because Sue, it's a freaky almost.
Yeah.
And she. And then you just throw in her vocals, which are world class as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. You just put it all together. To me, it puts her up there. It'd be hard for me to come. Sharon has a decent stage show. The one thing that really makes Sharon good is her outfits. She has incredible outfits. Like, I don't know if she makes them or picks them out herself, or if she has some, but whoever it is, just amazing. Mm-hmm. But anyway,
no.
Who else you got? Can be male or female, doesn't matter.
Okay, thank God. It's gonna have to be two.
All right.
So the first one would have to be Nurgle, because like I've seen him twice. I've seen numerous videos. Like, even it's hard for him to do a lot of movement just because he's playing and singing at the same time. So it's difficult for him to do so. But when he does get out there, he's connecting with the crowd as much as he can, and just really getting out there and just really putting himself to the front and just really connecting. So he's great in that regard. And whenever he goes into his like sinister kind of creepy kind of stage front, he does it so well. Like, especially whenever the first time I saw him, he was doing like this creepy maneuver of just walking throughout the stage, or not walking, but he was just kind of crawling through the stage, and like he was underneath a cavern almost. And so it almost seemed like he was just, I can't even describe it. Actually, there's three, my bad. Because I have seen them, and with black metal, it's not common that you're going to see someone have a lot of stage performance, just because there's a lot going on. But I can't remember his name. but he's a vocalist for Dark Funeral actually. He in his movements, he's very slow, and he's just kind of following with this sinister and kind of eerie feel. But also, when it came to one track, I don't remember the name of it offhand, but he had a whip, and he was just going and whipping the crowd, and it was hilarious, and so it was awesome. The other one that I know you've seen live videos of it is Nicholas of Shining.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, wow. Just that stage presence is phenomenal. Albeit pretty macabre and morbid, extremely. It's amazing stage presence nonetheless.
Yeah, he does. Dude's nuts, literally.
Which he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, he has, and I'd be curious if his live shows have toned down a little bit when it comes to that.
I could see them.
I would bet they probably have.
Yeah.
Maybe not a lot. I would imagine he still does some things, even if it's not for the same reasons.
Yeah.
Just because it's what he's kind of known for, you know.
Yeah. Hell, honestly, even
anybody seen them recently? Let us know.
Yeah. Honestly, Dio had a hell of a stage performance. Like, and if you see some of the live videos, he may not necessarily be doing crazy things, but he's just really connecting with the crowd.
I think both of our number ones do. Both Freddie and Ronnie.
Yeah.
Had incredible stage presence. God, there was somebody else I had in mind, and I already forgot. Oh, Love or Hate the Man. Corey Taylor's got a pretty damn good live stage presence too. He's really good at interacting.
Oh shit! The older days of Slipknot, they were maniacal, and not in a bad way.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think. Well, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
It's almost 2.
Yeah. You need to get some sleep, especially considering I got to be up early tomorrow.
Yeah.
We got to hit the road again tomorrow. Yay! You already see we got another load after this one.
I'm actually kind of excited.
I figured you would be. But anyway, but yeah, Corey Taylor, he has a fantastic stage. But like I said, love or hate the guy, because I know a lot of people hate his guts. And
whenever I think of him back in the early days of Slipknot.
I'm indifferent to him. I don't love him, but I don't hate him. But I can't deny the man's talent and his stage presence. Like you just can't. Some of
the craze people have that for him, and like what his opinions are and stuff, that it's just, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what reviews are. Now I do have an issue if you bring your political views on stage. That's not what I'm paying to see you. I'm paying to see you play music and interact with us, but not politically though. That's not what I paid for.
When he was still going around, and again, live videos, I never saw him live, but Chester,
yes, he was. I've seen him. I saw Linkin Park, and yes, he does have a very, very good stage presence. They were actually playing with My Chemical Romance when I saw them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I actually don't mind I don't love them, but I don't mind them. Like when you go out of the emo rock groups, they're probably one of the better ones.
Again, me saying I'm sorry, like I can't deny, dude's got a hell of a voice.
He's got a decent stage presence too, believe it or not. Like I felt like stage presence wise, he and Lester went together pretty well.
Lester?
Chester. I remember when I first learned Chester Bennington's name, I'm like, you have like the nerdiest name I've ever heard. And I was like, I feel so sorry for you. But I'd love to have your talent though. But yeah, what was the guy's name from My Chemical Romance? Oh shit.
Gerard
McWay? Gerard something, yeah.
Gerard McWay or something
like that. Yeah. He actually has a decent stage presence. But anyway, that's got off topic because we were talking about Linkin Park and they played with him.
Yeah.
The hymn was part of that too. With Vil, or however you say his name?
Vil Vallo,
yeah.
When he wasn't hammered.
Yeah.
Forgetting lyrics.
Yeah. But no, Chester absolutely has a great stage presence, and he moves around. He moved around a lot. Of course, great vocals. He sounds
about to say,
very similar live as
him and Mike both move around the stage like nothing.
Yeah, Mike Shinoda does. Yeah, he does. If anything, I'd almost say Mike moves more.
He does move more, but that's just because Chester's focusing on just giving that hell of amazing performance.
Yeah. Linkin Park in general was great live. Like if they were still around with Chester and everything, and you hadn't seen them, that'd be another one I'd say go check out.
Another one that I'm surprised we haven't mentioned yet, fucking Jonathan.
I was waiting for someone to bring it. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah. Just.
Now, have you seen Jonathan Davis live yet?
I've never seen Korn live.
See, I have. Again, another one of that. Yeah, great live. And I was really excited because my favorite song all time from Korn is Somebody Someone. I've always loved that fucking song. And when I saw him live, that was the last song they played. I was so excited. Yes, no, a great stage performer. Now, he doesn't necessarily move around a ton. He does some. But he is so animated on stage.
It's
even in his little area. It's great. And he's good with interacting with the crowd, too. So, and it's another band. The whole band has a lot of energy. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I feel like, how are y'all not saying Ozzy? So I've seen Ozzy solo and Black Sabbath. When I saw him, he was already in his 50s, I want to say, because it was about 20 years ago. And he
to me,
he's great at interacting with the crowd, like talking. But when he's on stage, he did it. Even back then, he didn't do a whole lot. Like
he mainly just would go to certain areas of the stage, stage
or
right,
would hop up and down. Which anybody who's seen him knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
He hops.
Which, honestly, I'd prefer him give an amazing vocal performance like he's known to do, rather than just try and be animated and fuck everything up.
You know, and I say that, and if you ask me what the greatest concert I've been to, like the one that I walked out like enamored and loved the most, it was probably Black Sabbath with Ozzy. Yeah. And now, mind you, a lot of that was just the excitement of finally seeing Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah.
But still, like if you ask me to rank best concert, that's still my number one. Like to this day, like there are people who have better stage presence than he does. And now I don't know about his older days. When he was in his 20s and 30s, he may have been like up at the top for all I know. But
yeah,
you know, when I saw him, but then he was in his 50s, he was already fairly not mobile.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's amazing what drugs will do to you kids.
It does. And but he's still he was still fun live. Like he really is. Like he's a trip.
Oh god, I just remembered someone.
Who?
You likely don't know him, but Abbott, formerly of Immortal, but
I've heard of Immortal, but I don't know who.
Yeah, but he's got his own thing. Most black metal memes, if they aren't of stupid ones of Vartu Fickernes, they're of Abbott, because he is so animated. In an interview, even in interviews, he is just like a kid. And like there was a video, you can see it, like he was running around, like on the lawn running around, and whenever he was running, he tripped and fell on his guitar. And he just walked up like there was nothing.
I meant to do that.
Yeah. So like Abbott, as far as black metal is concerned, probably one of the goofiest and most interesting vocalists out there.
So here's a fun question to end this on. Kind of tied to it, kind of not. What is the worst live performance you've ever seen?
Are we talking about just stage presence or vocally as well?
The entire package.
That's
it doesn't
difficult.
have to be a metal show, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Just anything.
The worst performance, and it wasn't vocally either. It was just stage presence. It was fucking Chad Gray of Mudvayne whenever he was doing Mitch Lucker's memorial show, and he was literally leaning on the riser the entire fucking track.
Okay, now you got me a three-way tie for first, because you may think of somebody else.
Oh.
Well, no, because that one would not. That would just be a single person of that group. That wouldn't be the group as a whole. So no, that one won't. Okay. That one, it could be an honorable mention maybe. But now, did you see that live or was that?
No, because I was in California. I saw the video and it. Yeah, I'm like, again, very great vocal performance, but all he did was lean on the thing the entire time.
So, I'll do my honorable mention. That I mentioned that I almost put it in, but I was like, no, because the rest of the band was fine. It was just this one. And that was the honorable mention of Lacuna Coil.
I knew you were going to mention that.
Yeah, because I complained about Christina, or is that her name? Yeah, Christina.
Yeah, Christina.
Yeah. She, the entire time I saw them, which this was 16, 17 years ago.
I should have put her in honorable mentions.
She sang to her knee 90% of the show. And literally, I was getting frustrated watching it because I'm like, we're over here. We're not or not here. Like, it drove me up a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the male vocalist, I think his name was, I don't know if he's still there or not, but Anders, I think was his name. Or something like that. It was, started with an A.
Mm-hmm.
He was good. Like, he interacted with the crowd more than she did. You know, that's why I say it's more of an honorable mention, because it's really more related to her.
Oh, God, wow. Sorry, I thought of a great vocal performer.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Now, my two least favorite, one of these, you'll probably be surprised I've seen them. But that was only because they opened for somebody. And it's also kind of funny because a lot of people consider this a great live band. But when I saw them 22 years ago, this was when they were first starting, they were awful. And that's Maroon 5.
Oh, no.
Yes, I've seen Maroon 5 in concert. They had just started. Now, they were opening for Everclear, who I actually went to go see.
Okay, I was about to say, Maroon 5, definitely not my cup of tea.
No, I'm not a fan of their music. But I went to because I was there to see Everclear.
Although I will say, he has one of the most unique vocals I've heard.
He does, kind of like the guy from Coldplay, but I don't care for that style of vocal.
I don't care for it, but I can't deny it is like one of the most unique.
Yeah, you definitely recognize it. But they insanely boring back then. Like, I was sitting there. The only fun thing they did that whole show when I saw them is they did a cover of and I can't remember which song it was. It was either Closer by Nine Inch Nails or it was Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. I think it was Closer by Nine Inch Nails. That was the only good part of the whole damn show. The rest of it was just utter boringness. Like, I was like, please be over. Every song that ended, I was like, please tell me this is the last one.
Maroon 5 actually covered Closer?
I think I'm like 70% sure it was Closer by Nine Inch Nails. Yeah,
that's really intriguing.
Yeah, I think that's what made it stand out. Like,
I'm
the
like
only good part.
That fucking threw me off.
Yeah, it did me too.
Never
What
expected
really
them to.
threw me off is there was this Christian group that had came to see Maroon 5, and I knew they were there for them because they had shirts done up.
Oh no, and they did Closer.
And they did.
Oh no,
it was great. I mean, that's partially why it made it even better for me.
Dude, I would have paid just to see that.
Oh, great. And it was all a bunch of teenage girls, too, which was even better. Yeah, and they were all in these shirts, like this Christian group here for Maroon 5 on their shirts or whatever.
Oh, no, I wish I could have seen that. I would have paid just to see their faces.
Yeah. Trust me, I would not normally pay to go see Maroon 5 on my own. But I went because they were opening for Everclear, which Everclear is probably one of my favorite 90s, punk grunge, bands from back then. But anyway, so, and my number 2, I actually saw this group for free. It was part of Downtown Rocks in Atlanta. Or my number 1, actually I would say this is number 1. I would say they were even worse than Maroon 5. I don't know if you even remember this group because they were a one-hit wonder. And that's a band called Default.
The name vaguely rings.
They had a song called Waste My Time. Or Wasting My Time, or something like that. And I saw them for free. They were opening. I don't remember who they were opening for. It might have been Collective Soul, or it might have been the Seven Dust Show. I don't know. But hands down, the most boring, lame show I've ever been to. Like, I literally, and I was there with several of my buddies, and one of them, we were all bored out of our mind. One was so bored that he almost fell asleep leaning against a lamppost. This show.
That's bad.
Now, I'm one of those people, I don't like leaving shows early because even if I didn't pay for it, just because I came there, I want to make it worth my time, even if I'm bored out of my mind.
I'm still pissed because whenever I went to see that Slayer show for their farewell tour, I had to drive out the next day at like 3 or 4 a.m. and I had to leave after like the second or third track. I was so mad because I'm like, this is the last time. At the time, this is the last time I'm gonna have a chance to see them.
Yeah.
Which even then, for the first 2 or 3 tracks, they were still fucking great.
Now, another honorable mention. I know you're gonna agree with this one for worst live bands. Callous Daboys. How anybody enjoys that band, I will never know.
2 words: spatial awareness. Don't toss your hat and hit your goddamn violinist. My God.
Yeah, they're not just bad live; they're just bad in general. I don't know what people see in that group, and the fact that they're gaining popularity blows my mind.
I will give them this: they are energetic.
They are energetic.
They are energetic.
They are very energetic.
I will give them that because I can't argue that.
Yeah,
but
that's about the only thing they got going for them.
Now, a big, amazing male performer. It wasn't particularly my favorite vocally, even though he had great vocals. It just didn't do much for me. And that's David Lee Roth whenever he was with Van Halen. Holy shit! Was that dude packed with energy? You would have sworn he just did a line before the show. Before every show. Well, he probably did, but
somebody from that time frame and the hair metal days, another great vocalist was probably Sebastian.
Sebastian Bach.
Yeah, he was probably the best vocalist out of all of those.
I don't know why I didn't think of this guy sooner, and I'm ashamed for it. Dee Snider.
Oh yeah, Dee from Twisted. Yeah.
Because to this day, and since I don't remember where it was that I heard it, but I love what he said, and I cannot argue with him, and I almost have adopted this philosophy. If a group does not perform to the extent that they are completely exhausted and tired, and they feel like they can still party, you have stolen from your audience.
Yeah. Well, Dee's just a good dude in general.
Oh, he's a wonderful man.
Yeah, he is. He really is. Alice Cooper is too. He's another one that's an amazing guy. You wouldn't know it from his stage performance because the dude's like nuts on stage.
The fact that he made a cameo appearance and even got into some humor in Wayne's World says enough.
Yeah. Yep. But there are a lot. Like, this is why I go on, like, metal gets such a bad rap. There are so many amazing vocalists, like, as they are as people. Like, Corpse Grinder is another perfect example.
Oh my God, yes.
One of the nicest, most genuine people you ever meet. But you look at him and you see him vote, you'd be like, I don't want to be near him.
Yeah.
But he's like one of the biggest damn teddy bears.
Oh, and he gave a hell of a performance whenever I saw them. Even though we had some of the worst seats because we were in the VIP section.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
Yeah, and they moved us side stage to where all we could see was the fucking equipment, and we had to get right over to the bar to even see them at an angle.
Yeah.
We were so pissed.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not a super uncommon with the VIP stuff. You're put in a bad. It's stupid, but but yeah, I mean, those aren't. I could give you a huge list of guys that are.
I was about to say we can go on and on.
Yeah, and yeah.
And with that being said, even though he's not a vocalist, guitarist, Eddie was extremely energetic on stage, jumping around and everything. Just one of the reasons why, even though and I'm gonna get hate for this, but I don't care. I am more of a Van Halen fan whenever Sammy came on board, just because.
Sammy Hagar.
Yeah. He didn't move around, but just his writing and just his singing was amazing.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree with that. And I do Jump. I love energetic. It's one other thing that made Avatar so good is how energetic the guitarists are, and it's why I'm such a big fan of the bassist Bo. Japanese bassist, because he's so energetic.
You need to watch, as far as a bassist goes, you need to watch it was on Live Without a Net. You need to watch Michael Anthony's bass solo. That dude is insane in every good way, and not to mention he is a hell of a backing vocalist.
Is he a 4-string bassist or
4?
4. Like the dude from Deviloof that's got like an 8-string bass?
It was like 6.
It was more than 6.
But it might have been 7 because I don't know of an 8-string bass offhand.
I know Bo from he's a what do you call it? 6-string.
Okay.
Get ahead now. Yeah, there's 4 and 3. So yeah, it's a 7-string he's got. But still, goddamn.
Dude, could you imagine how much that thing cost?
Oh my God! Yeah. Woo. Man. I mean, people are like, "Oh my God, they're playing a 7-string guitar." He's like, "Watch this 7-string bass, bitch."
Yeah. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
You know what would be a cool thing, even though it's not even metal or music related. It would be a cool thing to since we are on this platform, to give a discussion on what channels and people would like to watch.
That's true. Yeah.
Because I mean, I didn't.
Now you're talking strictly rock or reactors in general, everything. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Because I mean, I did get inspiration to do this from someone. So.
Yep. I wouldn't say I got it from anybody in particular, but yes.
Yeah. And it's because the reason I say it is, I can't remember if you watch. I think you've seen them along with me, but. And like my wife and I has watched them, and we just laugh because they're just a couple dudes being average and just they love metal. But
Just us.
yeah, and they seriously remind me of us. So
You talking about the ones that have what looks like a rug behind them?
yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah. But yeah, we'll have to do that, and this is gonna be split into 2 parts because this is almost an hour and a half long.
You act like we don't have hour and a half videos, sir.
Well, I cut them down to like 40 minutes at
Okay,
most.
well then yeah, you can split it up if you want.
And I try to keep them fairly low, but yeah, I'm gonna split this up into 2.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's a good topic and we're having fun.
It is a good topic, and again, and as much as the reason I don't like doing these is because there's just too many to
Yeah, there's so much
narrow
you
down.
can talk about. Yeah, you can sit here and spend all day talking about these different vocalists and groups and stage shows and everything.
Yeah. And I mean, and what gets me is, as much as I am into black metal, there's really not a performer necessarily, aside from what I've mentioned, that really tops them. It's like, and even vocally, they just have slight variations and distinctions to themselves. So it's like, I couldn't really say which one, aside from like when I mentioned Nurgle, that was really just over the top for me. Like, of course, like I can love the vocal style. Like Watain, like Eric has an amazing vocal style, and Dark
That reminds me, you know who male vocalist, harsh vocalist we didn't mention that would be near the top? Cattle Decapitation.
Oh, Travis Ryan.
Travis,
Fuck,
yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Think about that. Goddamn, like, yeah.
But anyway. Yeah.
God, cause yeah, his vocals are insane. We're gonna do a video of
YouTube channel that we
YouTube
like,
channels that we like, that we watch, and yeah, because for the people that actually do watch us fairly often, like once they know what channels we watch, they might be able to understand why the fuck we are the way we are.
Very possible, yeah, very, very possible.
Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like some of how we appear on here, it's majority ourselves, but like, I'm not gonna lie, as far as appearing on camera, we do get influence from other people.
Yeah, you know, and we do watch fairly different things. I mean, there are some things that I watch that you know, you'll listen if it's there, and there's some things that you'll watch that I'll kind of peek in on. But in terms of like,
because you have no option, because the TV's right here.
Yeah. Well, even so, you know, even when we were working at our previous place,
yeah.
You know, but otherwise there's different. I mean, there'll be maybe some crossover a little bit, but
I think
like,
so, yeah.
there are some. We listen to different things or watch different things. Yeah.
Yeah, but so is that gonna do it, or do we have anything else to say? Or do we just need to stop because we're gonna keep thinking of stuff?
Like I said, we could sit here and talk about this all day, but you need sleep, and
I need sleep.
I need to make sure I get decent sleep tonight because I got to drive tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, you know what? Of
course, I don't have to drive far. I only got to drive 3 hours.
Let's do a part. We'll do a part 3 where we discuss not just because of what I've started to mention, not just the performers as in the vocalists, but the musicians that really.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
our favorite musicians, different instruments.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Favorite musicians, because vocalists get so much of the limelight.
Yep.
And there are musicians just in general that just there's not enough attention to the actual musicians themselves, and some of them can be just as good as the vocalists. So I think we're going to do a part 3 where we kind of go into not necessarily top whatever, but just musicians that really made a mark on us. I've got an honorable mention that I cannot end this video without mentioning.
For male, female?
Male.
Okay.
And that is vocally. Mr. Wayne Static.
Ah, okay, yeah. He's another one. May not necessarily have been the greatest vocalist on the planet, at least vocally wise, but instantly recognize him, and he had his own unique sound.
Absolutely.
The only person that was even close to him, I think, vocally, I can think of, is the dude from Power Man 5000. Their music in general was pretty similar, actually.
Yeah.
But even still, Static had,
well, he was,
his own, like, I can't, like I said, the guy from Power was probably the closest thing I can think to him vocally that would sound similar.
well, like, his speed lyrics were just top notch whenever he would do that.
Of course, I say that Zero's pretty damn close.
Zero is extremely close. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end this again, like I said before we start naming off a bunch of
and this
random
video's 3 hours long.
But anyways, yeah, we're gonna do a part 3 of musicians that have really caught our attention, and we'll go from there. So thanks for staying with us this fucking long, even though this is gonna be split into 2 parts. Yeah, hope you enjoyed
it. Yeah.
And of course, give us who you think is amazing.
Give us your favorites too, because I'm sure there's somebody that's big that where brains are just.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll mention, be like, oh damn, why didn't we think of that?
Yeah, let's have a solid discussion and just talk about musicians and vocalists that really just have made a mark on us. Anyways, until then, guys, keep rolling heavy.